One, we've seen, say, a change of some of the very same figures taken to different dockets. Of course, we'll be getting to understand whether indeed there's something tangible that would come out of that. But, I mean, countdown, about 32 months left for the president. Sincerely speaking, when you look at the changes that he's made, while he has so much interest in, maintaining a cool legacy, do you suppose then that this would come in handy towards addressing the key issues that he seeks to address before he exits the stage?
Thank you very much, Linda. First of all, I want to dispel Edgar's comment that the president, it was shocking.
Because we always expect that the president would.
If there is one person who is allowed and is legitimate to address the nation, it is the president.
Time.
So the president doesn't need to seek any permission from anybody for the president to address the nation. So
he's firing shots at the media. He probably expected us yesterday to draft, the newspapers and say that, oh, okay, we're going to have the president's address and something of the sort.
I don't think so. I think the president mandated to address the Republic, and is mandated to address them on barely every other issue, be it political, be it economic, social, and everything.
Right.
So I think he's really mandated to address the nation. About whether this is going to change and maybe give him better management of the country and achievement of his big four, I really don't see it much, because I think the forest has remained the same.
Right.
Because he has just changed maybe the location of the gazelle to the other side, and the giraffe to the other side. But the forest is the same, the animals are the same.
Critics argue that such changes sometimes are good, because then there's someone who would be sleeping on this particular docket, or maybe were placed on a docket that would not be vibrant enough to address. So that shift and that twist would equally get them to that level of, waking up and, just smelling the coffee, and probably implement changes on the respective dockets that they've been sent to.
The problem here, Linda, is there any coffee to be smelled? Because when I look at this cabinet,
right,
you look at it and feel, a person who becomes a better leader in another docket is one who is not performing very well in the other docket. Now, most of our cabinet secretaries that we have are not even, they're not performing well, neither are they performing badly. Like, they're just there. Most of the people in our cabinet, they're just there. It's not like they are on either extreme.
Right.
We are not seeing anybody who is saying, this guy, it looks like he would have been better with sports and not good with these.
Right.
Because we are, most of them, ask Kenyans, and it's a pity that they don't know most of their cabinet secretaries. That's, but about, of course, he cracked the whip on one of his cabinet secretaries.
Yeah.
That is Mwangi Kiunjuri.
And I'd love to know whether Wakili would, in the event that this was to be contested in court,
yes,
in the event, would you suppose then it would have been unfair for him? Because then you rightfully put it that a majority of the people in the docket, sort of have not performed pretty much well. Miguna says even the president himself.
But again, you have to understand that the person who was mandated by the country, yes, to lead the nation is the president. And therefore, the cabinet is there to assist the president achieve his agenda for the country.
Right.
And therefore, if anyone in the cabinet is not in synchrony with the agenda of the president, then the president needs to do away with that person.
Right.
Because the back of this country stops with the president. And the common Kenyan is going to ask questions to the president, not to the cabinet secretaries. So I don't see any fault with the president sacking any of his cabinet secretaries. Yeah. There is no problem with that. That is actually his mandate. Right. Whether someone would go to court or not, this country is under the hands of the president. And when the president appoints you, remember, a cabinet secretary is an appointee of the president. So just like the president didn't ask for any permission to appoint him, he doesn't need any permission to sack them.